Let's talk about Sunday. You've had so many firsts and milestones in your career on a variety of tracks. You were so happy on Sunday. Where does it rank winning this pole?
Pole for the Daytona 500 is a big deal. It ranks up very high with the things that I've done and experienced. My goodness, so many people pay attention and know. I mean, we have a week to talk about it, so it's great for GoDaddy. It's a big deal for the crew. It was a really cool day. A lot of people got to enjoy it and smile, and I know that as a rookie in the Sprint Cup Series that there are going to be days where it's not going to go well and that it's going to be tough and we're going to have to pick each other up. But we also all looked at each other and said, but we need to high-five each other when we have these days too, because they're hard for anyone to get, and so everyone worked hard for that pole.
You said repeatedly in the past you were brought up to be the fastest driver, not the fastest girl. So is winning the pole enough, or to establish yourself as a NASCAR driver, do you have to win one of these things?
For me and as a driver, I think we all understand that Daytona and these super speedways they're very straightforward as a driver to go around. You put your foot down, turn left, be smooth. I mean, it's for us, it's a very easy track to drive. So I think that throughout my career, no matter what I've done, I always feel like I have more to prove. I feel like I have to keep earning the respect and earning my keep and showing people that I belong. And I don't think that by any means that getting pole for the Daytona 500 solidifies me in some way or makes me feel justified or locked in for forever for some reason. I'm going to go into Sunday and know that doing a good job on Sunday is the next thing that I need to do.
Well, let's talk about expectations for a second. I mean, look, ever since you were talking about doing go-karts way back once upon a time, I mean, you've had to deal with people who's told you can't do this. You got the skeptics, you got the haters. Where does your tough-mindedness come from to block out all the noise and focus on what it is you have to do?
Well, genetically, I think that my dad's pretty tough. My mom's pretty tough too, but I have good parents, good values, and then I think it's just through experience. I think that you've been around, if you've been in the public eye long enough, you start to understand how it works, and you start to you get that thick skin that doesn't allow you to get down when somebody says something about you. And I've learned to embrace the judgment from another side that isn't so positive, because I think that especially in sports, that conversation of favorites has to happen. That's what makes sports fun, Whether I'm a Bears fan and you're a Packers fan,
Patriots.
Or whatever it may, Patriots fan, whatever it may be. Well, I'm the Bears fan, so that was accurate, but. That sort of banter is what makes it fun. So I love the conversation.
But for motivation, the skeptics, the haters, the people who've said you can't do this ever since you were a little girl, is that still motivating for you?
I can't say that in my career I feel like people have told me I couldn't do it. The worst time or place was probably when I lived in England, and I felt like, we were in late teens, all the drivers are late teens. Of course, I'm really the only girl. And, I kind of felt like that was an awkward time where maybe I wasn't so welcome or felt so welcome, and you could feel people kind of whispering about you or pointing or something like that. But, face to face, people saying things, that just doesn't happen. And I'm lucky I'm growing up and working in a time that it's gender, there is less gender barriers, and in specific women in racing. I mean, there was a point in time 40 years ago where women weren't even allowed in the garage area, or pit lane. So we've come a long way, and I'm fortunate to be here in a time where it's embraced.
Do you feel welcome in your first full NASCAR season in what is one of the world's great testosterone pits historically?
Well, there's, they definitely, I remember growing up and there's so much talk about the old school drivers, and, they rough up the new or different ones that come in, but I don't know, I haven't felt like that. I feel like that's part of the reason why I decided to make a shift to full-time NASCAR, is because I love the people, I love the racing, they made me feel welcome, and they were embracing of my difference. They just didn't make me feel very different, so they just saw me as a racer and wanted to see me do well. So I don't feel out of place at all.
Okay, we even talked about the happy, I always sort of feel like when I'm happier, away from work, I do better at work. Same thing for you. I mean, you are happier. We've read a lot about that.
I am happy. I'm, you know, life is good, life is easy, life is fun, and you know, it reminds me of something that, you know, the Ricky, who I'm dating, he's another driver, and he was asked about that because the news came out, and when the media finally got a hold of us on media day, it was fun for them. So they asked him about it, and he said that when, you know, you're happy in life, you tend to do better at your job, and everything else goes better. So I think that's true. I think that, you know, being in a good mood, it rubs off on everyone else, and when people are in a good mood, they like you more, and they want to do better for you, and they work hard, and or maybe even harder, and you know, you get the most out of people.
And winning the pole was in part validation of how happy you have been.
I think that, you know, winning the pole was a result of a team doing a very good job with the car and having a great engine, and, you know, all of that stuff. That's all important. But, you know, how much of that came because I'm happy? We'll never know. But, you know, they did happen at the same time.
Couldn't have heard it, right? All right, so let me ask one last question. You know, I might be talking about how you thought at one point you'd be racing for 10 years. It seems to me like in your 20s, you had success on the track, but you were most successful at establishing Danica, the brand. In your 30s, now that you are 30, do you see the next 10 years as being about establishing Danica, the racer, Danica's racing legacy?
I mean, that's interesting. I feel like, you know, I feel like there was a lot of success that I wish I had in IndyCar. Obviously, winning was great, and having, you know, the success that I did was nice. But, you know, there was a lot more I wish happened. So, you know, the brand grows, and then people recognize your accomplishments even more. So maybe that kind of will happen. But I hate to forget about all the things that I've done so far, because they got me to where I am right now. So I guess I'm going to imagine that, you know, with this, you know, with the brand kind of growing and being more visible, and people knowing who I am more so, I guess I'll just imagine that the things that I do on track that are good are just going to be recognized by more people now, which is very flattering.
But is it important to you over the next 10 years that you establish yourself in racing history along with in popular culture?
Me making history in racing is something that I've been doing for a while now. So I just hope to keep doing it.